The webinar will start shortly here. We're just experiencing some technical difficulties. Just one moment here. All right, everyone. We're gonna get started here. Welcome, Maria. Glad to end the year out with another great webinar from you. So I'm just gonna get us started so we can dive into it. Today we're gonna talk about reaching customers online. And we do have a quick video from the Center for Rural Affairs. We'd like to thank them for being a partner and sponsor of Grow Nebraska, and they do help sponsor these webinar trainings. And so I'm just going to share a quick video here. There we go.
Hello, and thank you for joining today's webinar, sponsored by the Center for Rural Affairs. My name is Nikki Chitwood, and I'm the Panhandle Loan Specialist. As one of the many services we provide, I am here to introduce to you our lending services. When a bank can't help you with your dreams of homeownership or growing a business, the Center for Rural Affairs can. We offer coaching and financing to help you become a homeowner and start or grow a sustainable business. Please feel free to contact me at 308-631-0157, or you can visit cfra.org for more information.
Center for Rural Affairs is a great resource in the state of Nebraska. I highly encourage you to go check it out. And then our featured sponsor for the month of December is First State Bank. They have been a partner with us for quite some time, and so we'd like to thank them for being a sponsor of our Grow Nebraska Foundation. And then our featured member is James Arthur Vineyards. They've been a member with us since 2015. If you're looking for some wine for the holidays, they do sell wine online that you can get shipped directly to your home, or they're in a variety of Nebraska stores, Hy-Vees, and all that. And then quickly, I'm just going to share a few links here in the chat. We have our entrepreneurship survey. If you'd like to take that and let SourceLink, Nebraska Business Development Center, and the Nebraska DED know information about the questions they have. And then the additional links are our upcoming trainings, as well as a Google review to let us know your thoughts on today's training. And then our upcoming trainings for the month of December is December 5th is simplifying your payments with PayPal. And then December 10th is accounting 101 for small businesses. And this one is hosted by MasterCard. And then December 17th, we're doing intro to Google AI. And then you can also scan this QR code here for the upcoming trainings. And then we are a Grow with Google partner, and Maria does do our Google trainings. And so I'm going to just let Maria take it away, and we're excited to learn from you today.
Thank you so much, Tanya. I'm so excited to be here to love the Grow Nebraska team, Tanya, and so good to see your face. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen next, but thank you so much for having me here. I'm really honored to get to work with the Grow Nebraska community. Let me make sure I pick the right screen here. All right, everybody. First things first, let's get first order of business here. If you want a copy of the slides that I'm utilizing right now, you can utilize those. I just dropped those also in the chat box, but feel free to utilize those slides. When I say utilize, download or save them to your Google Drive. That's the best thing to do, because once the session is over, they're no longer available, but they will be emailed to you with a recording. So you will get that email to you, plus you'll have it available through Grow Nebraska. But a lot of times people will be on a mobile device and it may be hard to see the screen, but this makes sure that you can see the screen and you can follow along. And then when you get the recording, you can slow me down, speed me up as you need to, and utilize this almost as a checklist as you're trying out these different tools. Okay. Let me see here. There we go. Of course, you heard Tanya just introduce me. If this is your first time in a session with me, please, please, please utilize the chat box to put the number 1. Yep. Thank you. Tanya also said the same thing, but if this is your first time in a session with me, just put the number 1 there. All right. And oops, there we go. I'm going to put a copy. There's where you get the link to the copy to the slides and to the recording. So you have access to the slides actually in the handout, I should say. You'll get that and the recording will be sent to you a little bit later today. Perfect. Perfect. So this is your first time. You'll see that I'm highly interactive. I come from a small business incubator, is where I started my business over 20 years ago. So I understand the value of other people's experience. Plus I do also understand what it's like to be able to take care of your customers, now to be the head of getting things online, chief of marketing, chief janitor, chief, head of AI, artificial intelligence, and trying to juggle all that while still taking care of your customers and your clients. So everything that I share is very practical. I keep all of the sessions highly interactive that I do. So please use that chat box. If it takes a paragraph though for you to write your question, so if it's a pretty lengthy one, I'll save that to the end, only because all you see is the top of my head when we're recording for that. And it's not a great experience for you or learning experience for everybody. And plus, sometimes when you are asking questions, you reveal some private or confidential information. And I like to make sure that I am not recording for that part, just to preserve your privacy. Okay. So there is the link if you need a copy of the slides in the handout. Again, this is who I am. I've been on the Google team for 7.5 years. But more importantly than that, I was discovered by the Google team because I'd been in business for 20 plus years in digital marketing. 17 of those years now, actually 16, going on my 17th year with international e-commerce. So I understand the digital marketing landscape and environment very, very well, and we can help you today to be able to reach customers online. Right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Everything that you want to know, Google is in the blue link that you see in the middle of the screen that can help you with your small business. Of course, do reach out to your Grow Nebraska team because they are there for you. They are vested in your success, and they truly will help you connect with anybody and anything that you need to connect with. You can see at the very bottom above the hashtag, there is my handles on X or Twitter, which is at Maria Duran, and then me on Instagram at Marketing Coach Maria. The reason I share those is because I know that only 2% of people that come to these sessions actually apply what they've learned. I know it's sad because it's edutainment for everybody else and it's just time spent, but if it's time invested, then you truly do apply what you learned, because we know that knowledge is not powerful. That's a myth. It's not powerful until it's applied. So I love to put my socials out there and to be able to celebrate with celebratory gift dances for those of you who do apply what you've learned. So please connect with me there. Now, how do people find things? Well, they look on Google. That's where they're searching. When they're ready to go, no, go, do, or buy. And not only do they do that, they go to this little mobile device. 84% of the time, we go here first when we want to no, go, do, or buy, but they go to Google. Now, I've heard all the arguments from people about, well, you know what, Gen Z, and you can see some surveys. Gen Z does discover a lot of new products on TikTok and a little bit on Instagram stories. But that may be where they discover their first awareness. When they're ready to search, when they're ready to start making some commitments and really take it seriously, they go to Google and to YouTube first. So and do know that Google owns both Google and YouTube. So understanding how Google search works and YouTube search works not only benefits us here, but it benefits us at any platform, because we know that if it's good for Google search, it's good for Bing search, it's good for Yahoo search, it's good for Safari, it is good for DuckDuckGo, it is good for Brave, any of the tools that you utilize, because it is good practice to be able to be seen and for you to be able to build confidence with the search engine and to be found. And that's really on us. It's important for us to understand that we need to be experts on our customers. While there are lots of tools out there, it is on us, each of you, me, and each of you, to know who our best customer is, the way they search, and what information that they need along their decision journey to help them do business or to find your product or your solution. So as we look at this, or your service. So as we look at what we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about how you can reach customers on Google search, how you can actually reach them with a Google business profile through Google Ads. And understand, I'm just going to talk a smidgen about Google Ads because I am a true believer in a bootstrap marketing, which means free or small fee. And all the Google tools other than the Google Ads right now I'm going to be talking about are 100% free. And I will really focus on the free portion of Google Ads and what to utilize, because I don't think that you should do anything paid until you've fully calibrated and optimized everything that you have that's free at your fingertips. And then, as always, I end with a recap of things to do, because I do want you to apply what you've learned, and then resources to help you in that application. So how can you reach those customers, and how are they searching on Google? Well, we've all seen this screen. This is a Google search query. I mean, we can see it on a desktop, laptop, tablet, smart TV. What the results come up with look like this. Now, what's a little bit different here is at the very top above ads, you actually see shopping ads. So you actually see photos of products at the very top here. But then you can see the actual organic search results, and you see that nice, huge free business profile on the right-hand side with a lot of good visual real estate, getting you the visibility that you're looking for. Now, a lot of people think that Google is the World Wide Web, and it is so not the World Wide Web or the internet. It is the biggest library. So in order for you to be seen, it is on you to be able to enter your property, your digital property, your book, so to speak, into Google's library. Now, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll do a blog post, they'll change things, they'll add products to their website, and they publish it, and they just hope that Google's going to find it. And while hope is wonderful to have, it is a terrible strategy, because you have a tool that is 100% free, that is the door to Google's library, which is Google Search Console. And I would rather, even though I love Googlebot and it can find you in 90 to 180 days, I don't want to wait for that. Most small businesses, I know, cash flow is king. And once they're ready to show a product, a service, some information, they're ready for it to be consumed and seen by people right away. They don't have 90 to 180 days to wait, and you don't need to wait if you utilize the free Google Search Console and make sure that you've entered your information there so Google can see you. Once Google can see you, now it can present you to people, and then when you're visible, people now know that you're available to do business with. Until then, they have no idea that you exist. So it's really important for us to take a look at where we show up in search results, and are we controlling that by utilizing Google Search Console. So what Google Search Console helps with is SEO, and you may have heard of this term before and not really fully understood what it means. So SEO is search engine optimization. You hear a lot of people talking about AEO right now, which is artificial intelligence optimization. They're one and the same because SEO is changing. We know people consume information differently. We know they're saying, hey Google, hey Alexa, or hey ChatGPT, hey Perplexity, hey Bing, hey Ping GPT, hey Google Gemini. We all are searching a lot of different ways, and it's on you to find out exactly how your customers are searching. And it's important for us to also know that the search engine is aware of this and it's changing. In fact, now all searches are powered by AI by some form, and that's only going to increase as we go into 2025. I've been involved with AI before it was ever public facing, back before 2021. And then, of course, January 2024, it became the buzzword and the big sexy thing everybody wanted to talk about. But it's been in play for quite some time now. If you look at Google Lens, which is a free tool that you can use on Androids and on iOS, where you can take a visual picture of something, it will search for it visually. That's been in existence for over 7 years with 12 billion searches a month. So and that's AI. You know, your Amazon search, where you are looking for an Amazon product, you can just look at something, snap a picture of it, and Amazon will search that for you. That's all AI playing in the background. So even though I know a lot of people like to use the sexy term because it gets some awareness of AEO, SEO is also the same that we're doing now. We're just making some adjustments to some basic best practices because it's still people who are doing business with people. It's still people searching. So are you making your website more visible? Making sure that people can find it and see it. If the search engine is not confident in you and does not trust you, it's not going to show you high in search results, because the people that are utilizing the platform to find that information are their customers. So as you think about that, are you building trust and confidence with the search engine? For example, a lot of times people will hear me talk about the fact that your site needs to load in 1.2 seconds on a mobile device. If it doesn't, you'll lose over half, 53% of your traffic. So with a search engine, is it going to show up a site that is constantly taking too long to load, 2 to 3 minutes, because all the graphics and the photos there are taking so long on this little 4.5-inch screen that's using local mobile services to be able to upload things? Is it going to show that up high in search? Probably not. And the thing you have to think about is, if you think about it just in relationships with people, if you have a friend that you appreciate and you really like, but they are always late, you set up to meet at coffee and they're always late. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it can be a whole hour. You just never know. How likely are you to recommend them to somebody without a lot of guidance and information that, they're amazing, but they're going to be late, and it could be 15 minutes, it could be an hour. So just know this going in, or you're even trying to facilitate some of that connection. Are you going to share them as often as you would somebody who you really adore, does really well, but shows up on time? No, it's the same thing with the search engine. If the search engine doesn't trust that your site will load fast enough, it's not going to show you high in search. It also helps you connect with consumers, because one of the pieces of Google's algorithm is what's known as relevancy. So let's talk about that for just a moment. There are three specific pillars of Google's algorithm. Relevance is number one, and understand each of these pillars has about 1,000 different factors that actually affect these pillars. But number one is relevance. How well do you match what people are searching for? Okay. I say that because Google is looking at the words people are utilizing, and it's on us to know those words. So if I'm an overhead door company, right? Let's say I'm an overhead door company, and on my Google business profile, on my website, on all my social profiles, even my YouTube channel, it says I'm the best overhead door company in Kearney, Nebraska. And I've got, I've got this many reviews. We've been awarded all these amazing awards. We've been recognized even in Lincoln and in Omaha about we're the most amazing overhead door company in Nebraska. And somebody goes to Google search and they says, hey Google, hey Alexa, or to ChatGPT, and says, find me the best that can help me with a garage door that has fallen off its tracks. How well do you match? Are you relevant? Is an overhead door company the same as fix the garage door that's fallen off the tracks? Well, if there are none of those words on the site, if we can't find that in any of your socials, if Google's searching for that, then you're not relevant. And relevancy is so much an important part of where you show up in search. If you cannot match the words that people are using, that is where you will not show up high on search. So it's important for you to know their words, not industry speak, not your words, because you may have been your best customer at one time whenever you created or developed your product or your actual service, but you're at a different level using different words right now than somebody who is searching for the first time. You might have customers at different awareness levels. They could be not aware that there's a problem. So when you're putting information out there, that's not the questions they're asking. Or they could be very aware that there's a problem and that there's packages and services that can help them. So they're asking some other questions that may or may not align with the information you have out there. Now, a quick tip so that you know where to look is if you can't, I first, number one is ask your customers, because they want to have a conversation with you other than just a transactional, are you going to buy anything more? So definitely not closing the sale, but open the relationship. Talk to your customers when you don't have anything to sell them. But then the second thing is look at your reviews, because in the reviews, people in their own words tell you what matters most to them. They review, they focus on that which is most important to them. Don't have any reviews? Go to your competitors, because it's okay and it's good to do competitive research to see why it is and what they think is so amazing about your competitor. It also helps you increase potential sales, because now you have an opportunity to really understand what is seen, what's visible, and it gives Google that chance to feel confident and trust you to show you high in search. Now, you heard me talk about the importance of relevancy. Part of that is making sure you put content that's helpful. It's not helpful to people if they are looking for certain packages and you don't have information about the packages and the benefits of those packages and the stories of how to use those packages in your content. So publishing great content is important. And that means having titles and descriptions that are matching the words that people are searching for. So remember, in their own words, they're telling you, and it's important for us to use their own words. Also important that we're organized for that. So if we know that most of our customers coming to us, to our site, are brand new, the organization of our site is going to be different than somebody who's returning, and they need to
It seems that the screen is frozen right now. Maria, if you can hear us, that looks like the like your screen is frozen, but I'm wondering if she is losing service here. We'll just give her a second. All right, we'll just give her a second. I'm still waiting to hear back from Maria. I will keep everyone updated once I hear back. Oh, she's hopping on. Perfect. Well, I will let Maria take it back over.
Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, everyone. Oh, wow. That was an event. It's an event we've shared together now. It's sorry about that. My compute camera and microphone all in Zoom did not like each other for a good long while, and I apologize. Let's go ahead and dive in because I know you've been waiting, and I please forgive me. I wish I could control technology. That would be a superpower to have, wouldn't it? All right, let's go ahead and dive in. All right, back to what we were talking about. We're talking about being organized and then also looking at the keywords that we're using and looking at the words that people are actually using. So let me know with the chat box by a show of ones if you've used Google Trends. I'd love to know if you're utilizing Google Trends and how you use Google Trends. So let me know that in the chat box, okay? Just by a show of ones if you've used Google Trends and then how you've used Google Trends. All right, sure. Sarah, thank you for being the brave person. How have you utilized Google Trends? I'd love to hear how you use it. Analysis of words, absolutely. This actually gives us a chance to see what people are searching for. So I'm going to go to a live demo because I just like to really stress out technology whenever I'm working with it. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm actually going to show you Google Trends. So this is Google Trends. So somebody drop what their industry is in the chat. Okay, let me know. Trees. All right. So they're looking at your trees. Is it Jen, I'm sorry, Jen, do you have like a tree service or planting trees? Exactly what's your business? Let me know in the chat. So you can see here when we look at trees, so these are the Google Trends around the word trees, all right? So if their business is trees and okay, so glamping. Let's see, let's look at glamping too. Let's put this up here. So you have a tree service. Tree service. Okay, I'm going to bring up all these three terms so we can take a look at it. You'll see trees are in blue, glamping is in red, and then yellow is tree service. We can see in the past day how people are searching and where they're searching for that in Wyoming, South Dakota, Delaware, North Dakota, and Alaska. And what terms are they looking at? Well, for trees, they're looking for Festival of Trees, Utah. So Utah is definitely looking for things. And if you've ever wanted to be ahead of a trend, like you saw on TikTok, oh my gosh, there's an amazing trend. Had I only been at the head of it, I would have gotten noticed. Well, you can see here that breakout terms, those are actually terms that are before the trend. So this is before Google sees that it's even popular, but it's what people have been searching about in the past day, which is the timeline we're looking at up here, the past day. So they have for trees, the specific term of trees, because this is all in the blue, they've been looking for tree toppers, stinking cute trees, festival of trees, Little Debbie's Christmas trees. So they're looking for that around trees right now. Now, if we're looking specifically at glamping, we can see that it's in these areas. So we actually see what they've been searching in the past days and what they're looking at. What does glamping mean? What Spoon Mountain glamping? So maybe that's a specific location. I don't know glamping, so I don't know the topic, but I do know what people are searching for here. If I was doing ads, I would also work with breakout terms because those don't cost you as much because Google doesn't see it as a popular term yet, even though it's what people are looking at. So if you're trying to figure out what to post about, you want to keep your content fresh and you want to show up where people are actually showing up and looking, this is where you would do that. It takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money to get people to look one place when their eyeballs are already fixed somewhere else. So you want to take advantage of that. For example, for tree service, because you said that, Jen, tree service, they're looking out on a limb tree service, Alpine tree service, Verizon customer service. Okay, so they're looking at that. Let's get a little bit more specific here. I'm going to look in Nebraska specifically. And because there's some specific terms here, they may not have enough for us to look at in the past day, but let's see what we see. For trees, we see that in Nebraska, Lincoln, Hastings, and Kearney are definitely looking at it. In Cheyenne, also Wyoming and Scottsbluff, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska is looking. So what are they looking around trees? Christmas trees, artificial Christmas trees. For tree service, not enough search yet, so let's expand that out. When we don't have enough search, what you actually do is you go in here and you expand out to look, let's say, the past 90 days. What have they been asking about around these? Well, around trees, it's specific to these areas, and they're asking about balsam hill trees. For glamping near me, and they're looking for a tree cutting service near me. All right, so we can focus on this to see exactly where are they looking at this. Let's say we do that. So I'm going to remove this term for a minute, and I'm going to remove this term. And I'm going to look at tree service here. And it's specific in Omaha, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Scottsbluff, and Lincoln, Hastings, and Kearney. They're looking for a tree cutting service near me and Christensen tree service. So you see what people are starting to look for, and you can look and see what are the different metros. You can even expand that out and say, all right, in the last, let's say, I'm going to say the last 12 months, I could even see YouTube search, what people are looking with tree service. So they're looking at Omaha, Nebraska. They're looking at tree plant. I would need to probably expand this out even more so. And let's say I'm going to expand out the area. So I'm going to look in the past 90 days, but I'm going to expand out to the entire United States and just see what they're talking about in tree service. So I can look at the different areas, and they're talking about walnut tree service, canary tree service. So they're looking at some different specific terms, but this can help you with your actual content and help you show up, because this is what people are already looking for, which makes a big difference, because when we can actually control and look and see what people are looking at, we can start controlling. So we can see what people are looking at, but we can start controlling what we actually put out there that matches what they're looking at. Okay, so that makes a big difference right there. And that gives us a chance again to be visible. So as we're being visible, now we can look and see what the seasonal trends are. We can keep our own content very fresh, as well as start monitoring even our competitors. Just like you saw me put glamping in there, and you saw me put tree service and trees, we can also see what is being trended, or what's trending and what people are searching for with our actual competitors. And maybe we can get some of those eyeballs looking at us. I was working with a veterinarian in Corpus Christi, and at that time in Corpus Christi, the most searched term was cheapest veterinarian in Corpus Christi. And while he wasn't the cheapest, he was absolutely the best. So what he did was, in all of his YouTube search, because as you saw me do a YouTube search, just what people are doing in YouTube, and he knows that Google and YouTube are all owned by the same company. So it's important to dominate that search so you can be seen on both. And he had video going out, a blog post, a newsletter. All of his social posts were about the fact that they were not the cheapest veterinarian in Corpus Christi, but they were the best and treated their four-legged family member just like family. So that is how he was able to take advantage of the fact that all the eyeballs were here, instead of him spending all of his own personal time, energy, and a tremendous amount of money to get people to look over here. He was able to get them to look here, or take advantage of the fact that they were looking there already and now get seen. The same thing with your competitors, when you can put your competitors in there. Now, when we look at quality score, remember I told you about the three pillars of Google's algorithm. Number one is relevance. Number two is distance. How far are you from the person searching? And number three is your actual quality score, prominence. So that has everything to do with, do you have any reviews? Have you responded to your reviews? Have you updated your website? When was the last time you updated your website? Do you have video? When did you last upload video? Do people watch your video all the way through? Do they read your blog posts? Do they read them all the way through? So that has everything to do with your quality score. And part of that quality score is how fast you load as far as your website, because it's not a good experience when people have to wait for your website to load. So when you think about it, you're on a mobile device, you have 1.2 seconds for it to load. If it doesn't load in 1.2 seconds, then you'll lose over half, 53% of your traffic. So let's say you're posting out there, you're doing ads, you're paying for that, and you got 10 people coming to see you. At the end of the day, 4 of them will stay because it takes 2 seconds for your site to load, not 1.2 seconds, 2 seconds, because you've got great graphics, pictures back there. You've got all of this template that is making your website look amazing, but that's also the same thing slowing your website down. So it's on us to know exactly what that is that's slowing us down, and to be able to do things like compress our photos or decide on smaller images of photos so that it will load faster. It also has to be seen on all devices. So we do know that in 2020, people changed the way they search. They don't actually just go online to search, they live online. And because of that, most all of us have 5 devices. When you think about that, it could be mobile devices, it could be tablets, iPads, smart TVs, laptops, desktops, and on average, we have 5 different devices. So all of our digital properties need to be seen well on all browsers and all devices because people are utilizing a plethora of them when they are searching. So how you can get started in understanding what is best practice with SEO is utilize the link right here at the very bottom that you see of the 3rd item, which is learn more, which is Google's SEO starter guide, and understand what you do for Google is good for any of the search engines and will help you be more visible. It's a great best practice for each. Now, you heard me before we were taken offline was talk about Google Search Console. This is the door to Google's library. How many of you are utilizing this door to the library to actually see what Google sees about you? I'd love to know if any of you are using this, because this is how you can actually control what Google sees about you. You use your Google business profile to control what Google sees in Google Search and Maps, but you can also utilize this to control what Google Search actually sees about you when people are looking for your product, service, or solution on Google. In fact, if you would somebody go ahead and share your website address with me? Just go ahead and drop it in the actual chat box, because I love to be able to do a live demo with somebody's website. So perfect, Brianne, thank you. All right, now I am going to switch to the demo screen. All right, so you'll see I'm using a Google Chrome browser. Chrome browser is not just a browser, it's a great marketing tool, and you can only do this in a Google Chrome browser. So you're going to go to site, S-I-T-E. You're going to use the colon, which is the 2 periods on top of each other, and then I'm going to drop your website. You see I'm not using the HTTPS or HTTP : // I don't use that. I'm not using the www, just the website address, and then either if it's .com or whatever it is, I'm going to hit enter. And it shows me that these are all your pages that Google sees. All right, so when you look at this, that's a good amount. It's 2 pages of pages that Google sees. So now the question really to you, Brianne, is, are these all your pages? Because understand, every product and every blog post is also a page. So if these are all your pages, and this is everything that you want public facing, because that's what you can determine in Google Search Console. The door to the library is to tell Google, I want you to see this page, don't look at this page. I'm drafting this page, don't see this. It also helps you see, on your naming, are people being able to see you, and is the naming consistent? For example, if I had let's say Spring Ranch Campground. So I might have the naming here be food, and then put a dash here or a slash and say Spring Ranch Campground. Reviews / Spring Ranch Campground. FAQs / Spring Ranch Campground. Because I want people to know that they're not just anybody's FAQs, they're actually seeing something specific to Spring Ranch Campground. Pawnee Wagon Spring Ranch Campground. Again, is that, is the Wagoneer something that you want public facing? Again, sometimes I see people who will put photos in there, especially if they have people doing activities, and some of these pages will be named image 0045. All right, so it's not something that they really want public facing. All right, let's see. We've got Jen here. Let me go to Jen real quick because you guys have been so patient. I'm going to do more than just one. Site, : let's go to Jen's site. All right, let's see how much Google sees of your site. All right, so we see you've got good 2 pages here too. count all these pages when you go. Again, you're doing this in a Google Chrome browser. You're using the word site, S-I-T-E, and then none of the HTTPS or any of the www, and see if these are all the pages that you want seen. All right, so you want those all public facing. Are they named all correctly? Is there consistency? Because that's what Google looks at. Google trusts consistency and branding. And when there's trust and confidence in you, that's how it shows you up higher in there. You're very welcome. Let's look at Lesora real quick before we leave this. So I'm going to go again, Google Chrome browser, site, enhanced life home. Okay, this is how many pages it sees about you. Are those all your pages? Remember, every product, every blog post is a page. So make sure when you look at the back end of your website, it tells you how many pages you have. Is it seeing everything here? And look at your naming function, Lesora, because right here it's saying Enhanced Life Services Home. I would probably change this either just to Enhanced Life Services or Home. And then you could use colon, or you can use a slash, and then it said home / enhanced life service. Then you can do residential services / home life services. Again, that's some consistency in branding and in naming that helps the search engine have a little bit more trust in you and what it's seeing in your site. Okay, so I hope that's helpful to you. And you can see the door to search console as at the bottom left-hand corner here. If you Google yourself and utilize the site, remember what I said, that site : has to be done in a Google Search Console, sorry, a Google Chrome browser. And you can determine and control what Google sees in Google Search Console. Now, of course, we have your Google business profile here, and you saw all that great visual real estate. It is a chance for you to stand out. So if you don't have a business profile yet, then you can get one by using that blue link on the left. Once you do that, when you're in search, now you can control things like your services that are showing up, your products. People are visually searching for products right now, and they utilize their phone to do that, and things like Google Lens. So you want to show up there, because if you don't show up, then people don't know you exist. So think about that. You're very welcome, Brianne. So think about that. If you've put enough photos and videos out there of you, are you searchable? Have you put your services and products where they're easy to find? Just a hint to everybody that this is where AI is actually pulling information for its AI results. And you'll see AI is getting smarter and smarter. Even ChatGPT, which never used to give credit, now has links to where they got the information. So in your Google business profile, if you fill out your own Q&A, which you can, Google doesn't penalize you for that, and you answer your own Q&A, AI search actually pulls from that Q&A answers to be able to populate AI, which means you get more visibility. You can share updates in your Google business profile, and you can also respond to reviews, because we can spend all day long talking about how amazing we are, but it's much more valid when somebody else, a third party, validates that we are amazing. So what you'll do is you'll go to your google.com/business, and you'll go ahead and follow these steps if you don't have one. Do you recommend putting services on products or on Google business profile? I do both. I actually do both, because I don't have a lot of physical products. So I actually utilize services, because services are just text. So all it is text, but I know people search visually. So I go ahead and put the services bundled together. I even use work with accounting and bookkeeping teams, and they'll do things like put a bunch of receipts or shoe boxes, or a messy spreadsheet. They'll use that, and then they'll showcase the end result of a happy customer. Now, do understand, Google's pretty smart about stock photos, so you want to use actual photos. When you can use actual photos and you get permission from customers to use actual photos, that they're happy, or how much their service or your product means to them, or them using your product or service, that makes a big difference. Okay. All right. No worries, no worries, Angela. I am recording this. I apologize that you guys had to wait so long for me to come back. I won't spend a lot of time on Google Ads, just because I am a bootstrap marketer, and I don't believe in utilizing ads until you fully max out and calibrate everything that's 100% free. And so because what happens is when you utilize ads and you've not maxed everything out, so Google doesn't have trust with you yet, all you're doing is optimizing and promoting. You're actually amplifying the fact that you are not trusted by Google yet, or you're amplifying chaos. So you want to make sure everything is working well here. The best thing that you can do with your Google Ads, though, is when you are in Google Ads, there is a little wrench at the top part or on the left-hand side where a lot of the navigation of Google tools happens. And that little wrench is a free keyword planner. So utilize that like you would SEMrush or Ahrefs. Those are paid tools. I like everything free or small fee. And so use keyword planner there. That's 100% free. And it will showcase to you what keywords are working best, what's being searched, and even how much they're running if you're going to pay for them for ads. But you don't need to pay for that until you're sure that you want people to see everything that you have there. Your ads do appear, so they're amplified in 3,000 different sites, and there's lots of good tips at that bottom left-hand corner URL to be able to utilize and use ads in the best practices possible to be seen. If you start here with google.com/ads, what actually happens then is you are dropped into what I call the Mad Libs of ads. It's a fill in the blank, and it walks you through how to set up an ad. It's a smart campaign. So it takes you with training wheels is basically what it is to help you get started and make sure you don't overspend in your ads. So that's a great way to start learning ads if you want to. Just know that it's important first for you to look at this checklist of 7 items and have this in place to know what you want from your ad. If you don't have any goals, you can spend a lot of money fast in ads, and you don't want to waste that money that could be helping you get more customers. So again, what is the goal of the ad? And it'll help you, especially in smart campaigns, align all of the things that you're doing within the ad to achieve that goal. You can also create those ad variations, and you can schedule ads at different times. But the most important thing to me here is bullet point number 4, which is connect your ads to Google Analytics, because Google Analytics is 100% free. It is what Google Analytics does. It's a tool that reads how people behave and consume information on your site. So it's learning about how the information or what information is most interesting to people, and who is your best customer, where are they coming from, what devices are they using, what time are they looking, what matters most to them, where are they hovering and spending time. And I want all that good learning to be taught to Google Ads, because I don't want Google to test how and what an ad will do on my dime. I want it to learn it already from my website. Plus, I know that's low-hanging fruit SEO when you connect all of the Google tools and they each are pinging the algorithm, confirming, yep, this information is the same, this is the same company, valid information. All of that helps elevate you in search, because Google loves its own products and it believes its own products. And when it can trust the information you're putting out there, now it will show you higher up in search. I know I went faster with the last part because I was making up time for everything that happened. So please feel free to ask me questions in the chat box, because I don't want to shortchange you on your ability to be able to learn from this and to apply what you learn. So you see there are 3 ways you can show up in Google. You might want to explore next the Search Console. That's how you're going to apply what you've learned. Maybe it's time for you to get that business profile. You've been thinking about it, but you believe the myth that you're home-based and you don't want people coming to your home or Google actually publishing your address out there, and that's just a myth. So you can use it and how to use it. So maybe you're going to delve in deeper there. Or perhaps you're ready for ads, or at least you want to use the free keyword planner within ads. So maybe that's what you want to do next. But what is it that you're going to do to make today an investment instead of an expense? How are you going to apply what you've learned? So those are the questions I really have for you. And this is one slide that you might definitely want to make sure you spend time on, because it has everything that you need right here to get started. And it's every URL and website address that I shared with you during this presentation. Okay. If you want a free SEO audit to see whether or not your site is doing what it needs to do, I'm happy to do that for you. You can use this link to get there and utilize that to get a free SEO audit. And then I'll let you know what you need to prioritize in there. So take advantage of that, because I do want to make that available to everybody with the Grow Nebraska team, because I do want to make sure you're successful. I want Nebraska businesses to go get as much business as they can and get found fast online. All right. Again, thank you to everybody that's here. This is where you can reach me if you want to reach me, because I'd love to celebrate when you apply what you've learned. You can go ahead and connect with me at this bit.ly link, and it brings up all my socials. Choose the social that you are active with the most. And if I've been helpful to you, just like Grow Nebraska always models to you, I'm modeling it to you as well. Ask for a review. Most people would have left you one had you asked. You don't have to feel obligated to do that. And again, please don't beat me up too hard about technology because I wish I could control it, but my goodness, I sure can't. I tried to do as fast as I could. And thank you to Tanya, who was so very helpful. She even called and messaged me to make sure that everything was okay. So thank you, Tanya, the Grow Nebraska team. They're always just looking out for you, right? Everybody there is amazing. And I'm grateful that they're that amazing and care so much for small businesses. So now, are there any questions? And Tanya, I apologize. I'm 4 minutes over.
You are good. Um, it was great information. So I watched your previous one at the beginning of this year, and there was even newer information this time around. So yeah, it was definitely informational on my end for as well. So I appreciate
Oh, that is helpful. Any questions on things that we've covered? Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you for your kindness. You guys have been extremely kind, y'all. Thank you. All right, I don't see any additional questions, but if there are any, please direct them talk to Grow Nebraska. And if they will help you. And if they don't know exactly, they will search it out for you to find out. They'll reach out to me. Tanya's amazing at that. She really does have your best interest at heart, as does everyone at Grow Nebraska. So, make sure lean into that resource. They're there for you.
it. Yes, well, thank you, Maria. I will take back over the share portion.
Sure.
But
All
yes, thank
yours.
you so much. Always appreciate it. And I know we're getting the 2025 webinars kind of lined out and nailed down. So everyone stay on the lookout for that. And then let me just quickly go through everything. So we do have our Market Tech conference. I think I saw yesterday it's like 112 days or 20 days. It's coming up quick, especially I think the holidays makes it approach quicker. And so now is the time to sign up to just secure your spot. And so you can go to markettechconference.com and get registered. We have our keynote Chelsea, and then a few of our speakers, Nisha Brown, she's going to speak over LinkedIn. Adam is coming back with SEO, and then Christina Weeks with Eleanor Creative is going to speak about kind of the marketing agency perspective as well. And then Grow Nebraska does have open office hours you can take advantage of if you're wanting to know more about Grow Nebraska, or if you're a current member with any questions. And then I highly encourage you to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all the things happening with our Nebraska businesses. And then just quickly in the chat, I'm going to resend those links I sent out in the beginning. If you'd like to leave us a Google review, we'd love to hear your thoughts on today's training, as well as that Nebraska Entrepreneur Survey in the upcoming trainings link. And then I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. And then if you have any questions, here is my contact info. And I'd love to, if you have any questions for Maria, I'm happy to get those passed on over to her. And if there are no questions, I can just let everyone go for the day. And I'm seeing none. So I hope everyone has a good rest of their Wednesday, and happy holidays.